to Gaza. She came to Israel 7 years ago from Texas.
The idea of you coming from America to here, settling in potentially in Gaza, kicking Palestinians out, a lot of people would see that as settler colonialism.
It's not really
Let's hear the cope. Let's hear the mental gymnastics out of this one. Gosh, she looks so indigenous to the Middle East, doesn't she? Look at that. Helga is probably her name. Look at this. Get me my need, wench. Let's hear the brain rot.
colonialism. It's a return. My grandparents were kicked out of Israel by Arabs who were trying to establish a Palestinian state, and they had.
I don't think she can talk, you guys. I think she's having trouble getting this one out. Let's go back. Let's try and listen a little bit closer to this jar of mayonnaise.
To here, settling in potentially in Gaza, kicking Palestinians out, a lot of people would see that as settler colonialism.
It's not.
A lot of people would see that as settler colonialism. Yeah. Remember that Gaza itself is a refugee population. They've already been displaced to Gaza. And now they want to kick them out of Gaza. The only reason that they're in Gaza is because they got kicked out of the other areas of Palestine.
Not really colonialism. It's a return.
It's a return. Oh, she's saying yes. We're just returning. She said Arabs kicked her out. Yes.
My grandparents were kicked out of Israel by Arabs who were trying to establish a Palestinian state.
Stand? A Palestinian stand? So her grandparents were kicked out of Israel, if you can believe that. I would wager a guess, and I would say that her grandparents were born before the state of Israel even existed. So I think she's sniffing her own ass when she says kicked out of the state of Israel. I wonder what perhaps she might actually mean. Occupied Palestine.
Had to leave for their survival, and I'm just coming.
So her grandparents had to leave the state of Israel because they were kicked out by Palestinians. It's sort of like saying, look, I lost my grandparents in Auschwitz. They fell out the guard tower. I'm just going back because my grandparents were concentration camp guards, so I have a right to return to Auschwitz. Auschwitz is technically my homeland. My grandparents were kicked out of Auschwitz. Yeah, they were the best guards in the whole regime.
Back and fulfilling their dream. That would be the first thing.
She's just trying to fulfill her wet Hitler dream.
The second thing is, I think that, and I know that.
Oh, she can't even get it out. She's gotta laugh. She's like, I know this is fucking bullshit, but here I just gotta get this out. You guys are filming me, right? Let's see what insanely unhinged, batshit crazy thing she's gonna say.
This is a minority view. I think colonialism gets a bad rap.
Yes. Colonialism gets a bad rap. She knew how fucking unhinged that was to say out loud, but she's like, you know what? I'm going full Nazi right now. I can't help myself. Look, the Nazis get a bad rap, all right?
I don't know what that means, bro. I swear to God. I don't know what the fuck fascism is. I don't know what the
fuck that means, man. Colonialism, look, it's just, it is whatever I think that it is. There's no objective term. There's no objective definition to colonialism. The colonizers are actually like really nice when you get to know them. Okay, the slave owners, I think slavery gets a bad rap, guys. I really do. I really think you guys should be, you should really try to understand things from the slave owner standpoint. Okay? I wonder if she lathered up with SPF 90 before she took this interview, because it's hot. It's hot out there in their promised land. They definitely look like she definitely looks like she comes from a long line of people that lived in the Middle East. Don't you think? Yeah, as we stare at this jar of literal mayonnaise.
Genocide is bad, but colonizing places that are genocidal and they...
Oh my God. Oh God. Her brain broke. As soon as she said genocide. She's like, genocide is the genocidal is the genocide. Obviously genocide is bad, but colonialism though is just not genocidal. This is what you call a massive cope. This is what you call someone who has lost the plot entirely and is coping about it in the best way that she knows how, because her whole identity has been consumed with this concept of a Jewish supremacist ethno-state built on ethnic cleansing and settler colonial logic. She ate too many paint chips as a kid. She's guzzled too much glue. The snot is coming out of her nose. This is next level brain rot.
They have bad ideology. It's good to come in and correct their views.
What do you think?
We gotta rewind that back. I mean, that was just too good.
My grandparents were kicked out of Israel by Arabs who were trying to establish a Palestinian state, and
So, if you can believe this, okay? Arabs were trying to establish a Palestinian stand. Let me just write that out for you, just in case you need a... Arabs were establishing a Palestinian stand. Let's just go back. I love this so much. Let's hit the subtitles. I need to know, what did the auto-generated subtitles make of this?
A lot of people would see that as settler colonialism.
it's not really colonialism, it's a return. My grandparents were kicked out of Israel by Arabs who were trying to establish a Palestinian state, and they had to leave for their survival, and I'm just coming back and fulfilling their dream. That would be the first thing. The second thing is, I think that, and I know this is a minority view, I think colonialism gets...
I know this is a minority view, just like the social group that I belong to in the state of Palestine. I'm a minority, and the indigenous majority has been kicked out by the colonial minority. Yeah, you know why it's a minority view? Because you are the minority here. Colonialists are the minority, and they would obviously be pro-colonialism. It's also a minority view because most people have a spine, I would like to believe.
Gets a bad rap. Like, genocide is bad, but colonizing places that are genocidal and they have bad ideology, it's good to come in and correct their...
Okay, I'm trying to... So colonizing... If you colonize a place that she considers genocidal with bad ideology, it's good to come in and correct their views. Colonialism isn't bad if the place that you're colonizing is genocidal with bad ideology. Because, I mean, obviously you have to be just a completely brain-rotten racist to believe that the Palestinians are just inherently prone to violence. It was a bright blue day, October 7th. They came in out of nowhere with their rapists and their drug dealers.
What do you think should happen to the people who are already in Gaza?
So I think that
well, we should conduct a genocide against them, obviously.
There's a couple of possibilities. The one that I think is the most realistic is we gotta help ask other countries for help. I know that Spain was...
We gotta help ask other countries for help. Well, I mean, we already know that that's already what Israel does. Israel is completely dependent on other countries, specifically the United States, but also other Western European countries as well. So are you saying that Israel isn't strong enough to stand on her own in her poopy land with her chosen pee hole?
Was willing to take a couple of million. I know Russia said they would take a couple of thousand.
Oh, she's doing Nazi rhetoric. She's doing the Hitler talking point of we need to send the Palestinians to Spain. Let's send a couple million to Spain. Let's send a couple million to Russia. Okay, yes, they need to take them. If you listen close enough, you can hear mein Führer. Why doesn't the United States take care of the Jews? Why doesn't Britain want the Jews? We need to ship a couple million to Britain and to the US. Alright, otherwise we're gonna have to kill them all. This is the least genocidal Zionist in Israel. This is what most of them believe. This is the kind of thinking. I mean, they're not a serious state. You're not having an aneurysm. She's just, she has the head of a canoe. She has no frontal lobe. She's just like, she can't even barely speak. It's like, you want to know who this person is? I'll show you. There it is. There she is. This is who we're talking to right now. Her head is a concave. It'd make for good wallpaper. I don't know why they put it on the wall for us. I just wanted to see the picture, but you get it.
Spain was willing to take a couple of million. I know Russia said they would take a couple of thousand.
To a lot of people, that
a couple thousand.
Sound like you're
Russia said we're gonna take. Russia said we'll take a couple thousand Palestinians. Sure, yeah, we'll take a couple thousand off your hands. What? Is this insane? I'm genuinely concerned. How does she know how to wipe her own?
advocating for ethnic cleansing?
I don't think so, because...
Yeah, they're talking like they're just doing some inventory. I mean, least genocidal Zionist, right?
Palestinian isn't an ethnicity, it's an ideology, and it's an
Look, a typical Zionist. Try not to project your own ideology onto your victims. Challenge impossible. It's precisely Zionist Israelis that is an ideology and not an ethnicity. She's saying being Palestinian is an ideology. Literally being Zionist and Israeli is a political affiliation. It's pure out-and-out projection. Exactly. I mean, she looks like she is teaching music to little kids in Salzburg. What was her name? The Sound of Music, anyone? She is Greta, the milkmaid. Helga. I know, that's what I went with.
Ideology that says that they want Jews dead, and so we want them...
Palestinian is an ideology that says they want Jews dead. Wow, that is big, if true. I mean, yeah. It's like so much, there's just so much brain rot in these comments that it's just like, where do you begin? I think is what I'm sort of grappling with. It's like, she thinks that being Palestinian is just an ideology. It's not a internationally recognized territory. You know, it's not like we have droves and droves of international governmental documents which affirm that the Palestinians are in fact a sovereign people with their own territorial unit and have a right to self-determine as a people. You know, they're just an ideology that want Jews dead. Most critically thinking Zionist right here, folks.
Nixon ordered Cambodian genocide. Clinton sent cruise missiles to Sudan, people died. Gave the orders to do drone strikes.